When building a Storm deck for Commander, your friends are going to say a lot of things to you, like, why not do Artifact Storm with Joyra? Or perhaps make use of enchantments to do, I don't know, some weird kind of hipster enchantment storm with Estrid, or Gen. But to that I say, how about just Storm? Classic Storm. Casting multiple spells each turn, eventually going infinite, and having a blast while you do. For that, there's no better commander than Elsha the Infinite. Elsha the Infinite is a 3/3 Djinn monk for 2 generic mana, a blue, a red, and a white. She has prowess and reads, you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast the top card of your library if it's a non-creature, non-land card, and you may cast it as though it had flash. The idea behind this deck is to cast spell after spell after spell, empowering Elsha to strike hard while gaining incremental advantage over your opponents, eventually being able to cast or cheat in powerful enchantments such as Omniscience and Thousand Year Storm, changing the incremental advantage into an overwhelming torrent of destruction. Omniscience is an enchantment for 7 generic and 3 blue that lets you cast non-land cards from your hand without paying their mana cost. The classic goal here is to pair Omniscience with the 12 mana Enter the Infinite, now free thanks to Omniscience, which will then allow us to draw our entire library and view every single possibility available within. The deck also runs Approach of the Second Sun, which both gains us life and provides an alternate win condition made much easier by having almost no cards in our library if we've pulled off the Omniscience combo. Grape Shot, a 2 mana direct damage spell with Storm, easily becomes lethal when you can cast as many spells as you want for free ahead of it. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, is a planeswalker, and by extension non-creature, version of format boogeymen like Laboratory Maniac and Thassa's Oracle, allowing us to win when we have no cards in our library, and enabling that victory with its +1 ability to boot. While Omniscience is indeed very expensive to cast, we have a couple ways to cheat it out. My favorite being Show and Tell, a sorcery for 2 and a blue that allows us and our opponents to put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land from our hand onto the battlefield. So how does a 3 mana Omniscience sound now? Combined with a plethora of tutors, which we will get to in a moment, we can guarantee we'll have Omniscience in hand when the time comes. We also run Academy Rector, a 1/2 white cleric for 3 and a white, which, when it dies, allows us to search our library for an enchantment and put it directly into the battlefield. How's that for efficiency? Meanwhile, it simply wouldn't be a classic Storm deck without Thousand Year Storm. Thousand Year Storm essentially gives all of our instants and sorceries a sort of pseudo-storm, copying them for each other instant and sorcery we've cast before them this turn. This opens up some truly powerful and silly paths to victory. Stormherd is a 10 mana sorcery that creates 1/1 flying Pegasus tokens. Pegasi tokens? Flying horse tokens for each point of life we have. Soon an overwhelming army of Pegasi, there we go, Pegasi, will stampede over our opponents. For a truly classic win, we recommend Lightning Bolt. Cast a few cantrips and perhaps a tutor, then watch as the skies alight with surging electricity. Your opponents won't believe what hit them. Pair Lightning Bolt with a Reverberate to double, triple, or even quintuple the devastation. We run very few creatures in this deck, instead relying on our spells to bring us victory, but we do have one very crucial creature, Elsha of the Infinite herself. Her prowess ability buffs her for every non-creature spell we cast each turn, quickly making her a formidable weapon, and if our combos don't allow us to prevail, Elsha certainly will. Non-creature spells are the majority of our deck after all. To help her reach her full potential, we run a number of extra turn spells, such as Temporal Mastery, Nexus of Fate, Time Stretch, and the dreaded Expropriate, which provides us and Elsha the extra time necessary to deliver some knockout punches. Along with being a fearsome combatant, Elsha allows us to cast non-creature spells from the top of our library, empowering her and helping us dig for some truly splashy plays. As such, top of library manipulation is going to be key in this deck. Single mana cantrips like Opt, Preordain, and Ponder allow us to know what's coming, while removing any lands or creatures that may stand in our way, while permanents like Sensei's Divining Top and Ral's Storm Conduit will do much the same over the course of the game. Also Brainstorm, because Brainstorm. It's got Storm in the title, it's a given. Be sure you play it the correct way. In addition to our top of library manipulation, Faithless Looting and Dig Through Time help us dig through chaff to find our wheat, while a pair of enchantments turns every non-creature spell we cast into either a cantrip or a loot. Whirlwind of Thought costs 1, a blue, a red, and a white, and reads, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. Everything's a cantrip. With Jeskai Ascendancy, we do much the same. Though we then have to discard a card, but it comes with giving all our creatures +1/+1 until end of turn for each non-creature spell we cast. Double prowess for Elsha. With bold and somewhat fragile strategies such as these, it is of utmost importance to get the jump on our opponents. Leyline of Anticipation is an enchantment for 2 and 2 blue that allows us to cast our spells as though they had flash, and we can even play it for free at the start of the game if it's in our opening hand. It's like Vidalcan Orrery, but potentially cheaper and, as an enchantment, harder to remove. The deck contains a murderer's row of tutors. Idyllic, Enlightened, Mystical, not to mention Merchant Scroll, Expedition Map, Imperial Recruiter, and both Trinket and Tribute Mages, all help ensure we will have the cards we need when we need them. What's wrong with a little consistency in a deliberately inconsistent format, eh? Various rings, signets, stones, talismans, and baubles help us ramp into our powerful spells at a much more rapid rate. And while the deck itself runs a little light on land tax will help guarantee we never miss a land drop. Smothering Tithe also keeps the mana flowing, particularly when paired with a well-timed windfall. Monks may live an ascetic lifestyle, but treasure is still a useful tool. Just be sure to spend it wisely. There are lots of moving parts in this deck, and protecting them is crucial. Lightning Greaves keeps our commander safe while enabling her to begin her beatdown immediately. Teferi's Protection can come in handy to save our important game pieces from removal, or ourselves from death, in this nearly creatureless deck. A few counterspells like Dovin's Veto, Swan Song, and the classic Counterspell likewise protects our key pieces and halts our opponents from running away with the game. In the sad event that our key pieces are removed, powerful recursion like Mystical Retrieval, Reconstruct History, and Hall of Heliod's Generosity ensure that they won't be gone for long. Add in some efficient targeted removal. Here's Looking at You, Swords to Plowshares, and Generous Gift, and one-sided mass removal spells like Heliod's Intervention, Vandal Blast, and Cyclonic Rift all keep our pathway to victory open. Since we do run a few creatures, a grand total of 4 other than Elsha, and all of them are really just there to tutor, a good old-fashioned Wrath of God will serve to keep our opponent's armies at bay. To round out our Jeskai Hurricane, we run a pair of Planeswalkers depicting the clan's former con. Narset, Parter of Veils, both halts our opponents from gaining card advantage over us, and enables us to dig through our library for the non-land spells we need. Narset of the Ancient Way helps us dig as well, while also providing an additional mana source for our non-creature spells and, in the unlikely event of using her ultimate ability, gives us an emblem which reads, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this emblem deals 2 damage to any target. See, Elsha? You need not follow the Jeskai way alone. So if you're looking to always be active while rarely registering as a threat until such time as you can win in spectacular, bombastic style, then may I humbly recommend storming off with Elsha the Infinite. Deck list is in the description as always, and I hope very much this video has been of some help to you. You can help me out by remembering to like, share, and especially by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. What commander deck would you like to see a tech on next? Let me know in the comments below. They've just started previewing Kamigawa Dance Party, a cyberpunk Kamigawa set that will exclusively feature the characters of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, I always thought they were from New York.
Who cares, Brian? Have you not seen the preview images on the official Magic the Gathering Legends Action RPG account and what they've been tweeting?
Wait, didn't that close before it could even get out of beta?
That's unimportant, Brian. Focus. New Orc cards, Warhammer Commander deck. Apparently you have to shout war at the top of your lungs when you cast an orc. I don't want to shout war at the top of my lungs when I cast an orc.